Back at it again. You already know. This video is, does your church operate under a 501c and how to become an ordained minister? Let's first define what a 501c is. A 501c organization, also colloquially known as 501c, is a tax-exempt nonprofit organization in the United States. Section 501c of the United States Internal Revenue Code 26 USC 501c provides that 29 types of nonprofit organizations are exempt from federal income tax. So you may ask yourself, what does that have to do with my church? It's nonprofit. This is a church. These are nonprofit organizations. Well, in 1954, Senator at the time, Lyndon B. Johnson, added churches to that list of organizations. So he presented it to them as a favor. Say, I'm going to do you guys a favor and add you to this list of nonprofit organizations so you guys can receive tax exemptions. Which is kind of crazy, because if you know anything about the amendment, the First Amendment states that Congress shall make no laws respecting of an establishment of religion. So he added them to a list that they didn't need to be added to, because he was already exempt from taxes, because Congress can make no laws against a religious establishment. So you might want to know why now would he add churches to the list of organizations that have a tax exemption? It sounds like a great thing, right? Even though we already had it, we already got tax exemption, so he gonna add us to it. No big deal, whatever. But see, when he added the churches to the list of organizations to receive tax exemptions, he did it because he had a motive. His motive was to silence the church. This is why today you have churches, they don't really speak too much on current events. They say a little bit, but they do a hush. You know what I'm saying? On Sunday morning, you know what I'm saying? Wednesday, Bible study. But they're not really out there making no real heavy noise, because a lot of times they're operating under a 501c3. And with that 501c3, it comes with stipulations. Here was the main one. Here's the one that Lyndon B. Johnson created for the church, and this is the reason why he did it. He had his own political agenda. All right, he wanted to silence the church and eliminate the influence the church had in the community to affect public policy. So let's go into that. What's public policy, and what influence did the church have? Well, in 1959, you would think that if you had a question, if you had a thought about who you should vote for in government, who would you want to seek advice from? Who's the people that you want to see in office? Somebody who would be, you know, maybe a religious person, somebody who has ties to the church, or somebody who has morals, values that the pastor, the reverend, whoever's in charge of the church, the clergy of the church has ties to, has familiarity with. They familiar with the man. You know, they know that he's a stand-up guy. So, you know, the congregation will come to the church and say, hey, you know, who should we vote for? And the church, you know, the clergy of the church would give the people their advice. Most of the time, people are going to take it. So if you had maybe not a not so moral stance, or the things that you wanted to do in government wasn't so for the people, and you had your own motives and your own reasons to be elected for your own power, hungry ways, reasons, whatever you want to call it. The first thing you would do, you want to eliminate the church. You want to tell them that, you know, listen, give you guys a break, but I don't need you to be quiet over here. You know what I'm saying? For this break, you know, when this comes up, you know, I need you guys to be quiet, you know. And that amendment is called the Johnson Amendment. And it refers to change in the U.S. Code made in 1954, which prohibit tax-exempt organizations from endorsing or opposing political candidates. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's called the Johnson Amendment. You can go look that up yourself. Like I said, you know, this all is really easy information that I present. I'm not presenting nothing like on a crazy scholarly level. I don't profess to be that type of guy. I'm just giving simple information, simple knowledge to the people. So you can look it up yourself. You can look up 501c. You can look up the Johnson administration. You can look up, you know, you can look up all these things. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can just do your own research. I'm just presenting you with basic knowledge, basic information for you to, you know, familiarize yourself with and hopefully move forward with that. So with that being said, like, you know, I would want to ask my church, like, do we operate under a 501c? You know? And if so, why? I would want to know why. Does my church operate under a 501c? And question, is this the reason why we're so quiet in the church? We're so docile when things happen in the government, local governments, you know, because you're exempt from all governments. So that means local, state, and federal. So when that judge or that sheriff in your town, who we all know is racist, he hate black people, when your pastor doesn't tell the church not to vote for him, maybe it's just not, maybe it's not as simple as you think. Maybe he's just not, you know, I'm just going to stay out of it, let the people think for themselves. No, he's supposed to be leadership. He's supposed to be leading the congregation. He's supposed to be, you know, the man that the congregation looks up to for advice, you know? So, yeah, that's something that I would definitely look into if I'm, you know, if I'm a member of a church. I want to ask my church, do we operate under a 501c3? And if so, why? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's that.